Week 11 of the 2025 NFL season is here, and I'm a little tired. Not from football, but my job has just been moving my hours around because it's the end of the year, covering for a lot of people's vacations. So might not have as much energy for this one, but I'll try to keep the spirits high, keep the positivity up. Also, I missed the Thursday game, but I didn't have an official bet for it anyway, so we'll just briefly cover the Thursday night game before going into the actual picks and predictions for the Sunday and Monday slate. As far as last week went, we did pretty good. Pretty good. Went 9-5 in predictions, and we went up 2.5 units in bets. I had one of my best weeks all year. Of course, the week that I stopped actually gambling on my own picks, I do really well. But you know what? It's not for me anymore. It's for you guys. So yeah, I guess it's good for something anyway. So, without further ado, we'll get into Week 11. I'm Neon Manta. Shut your mouth. Let's talk ball. Thursday night game, we had the Jets versus the Patriots. The spread was like 13.5 points. No, wait, yeah, the spread did not move all the way down to 5.5. I'm reading that's minus 333. The Patriots beat the Jets. It was no surprise at all. The Jets, you know what? For their credit, despite their fire sale and Justin Fields being the worst quarterback in the league who can't throw a pass to save his life, I think, what did he end up getting? Like, his over-under for the game was like 135 passing yards is what Vegas had it at, and I think he only, barely broke 100. I think he got, 110. It was incredible. If you were sharp enough to take Justin Fields under as part of one of your a prop bet or part of your parlay, you probably made out like a bandit. You know what? Like I said, despite the fire sale, no more Sauce, no more Quinnen, and Justin Fields just being the worst quarterback in the league, Jets kind of hung in there for a good chunk of the game. It wasn't until towards the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter that Patriots started running away with it. TreVeyon Henderson. If you had TreVeyon Henderson in fantasy, you might win fantasy this week. Man got a hat trick, 2 rushing, 1 receiving, I believe. Stephon Diggs had 100 receiving yards. Drake Maye is still looking like an MVP candidate. A lot of people are trying to clown on the Patriots for beating up on bad teams, and while their schedule has been a majority pretty easy, the winning streak they're on is still more impressive than the Broncos' winning streak because, A, the Patriots are more decisively winning these games as opposed to keeping it close to teams that they should be better than. And they still have some heavy hitters under their track record. They beat the Bills. They beat the Buccaneers. Anyone who thinks this Patriots team is fraudulent does not know the meaning of the word. Broncos, that's a fraudulent team. Fortunately for them, I'm pretty sure they were on bye this week, but we'll talk about that game in just a little bit. So, yeah, Jets are their little 2-game insanity winning streak is over. But I think they're in a pretty decent excuse me. They're in a pretty decent position for next year. They got so many draft picks, high round draft picks. Once they get a decent quarterback, what was that one guy everyone's throwing around? Was it Fernando Mendoza? I think that's his name. It was something Mendoza. If he's good for the Jets, and they keep their guys like Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and they don't get traded or released in the offseason, Jets could maybe make a difference next year. Maybe it'll take until 2027 when they get the rest of their Sauce and Quinn and draft picks to put to use that they become actual threats. But until then, this Jets team is still nowhere near a threat this year. Their season is over. That 2-game winning streak was cute, and it it really only serves to worsen their own first round draft pick. But good win for the Patriots. They're still on the rise, and they might make a run. We don't look now, but we might be seeing Patriots Colts in the playoffs at some point. It's the 2000s all over again. All right, now let's get into the actual games. I'm still coughing, by the way. Commanders versus Dolphins, the last international game in Madrid, Spain. Commanders, their season's probably over. Jaden Daniels miraculously didn't tear any of the muscles in the left arm that twisted 180 degrees a couple weeks ago. It was only excuse me. It was only a dislocated elbow, and he could be back in like 4 to 6 weeks, which now I think will be 3 to 5 weeks. I still think Daniels has had too many injury scares to justify keeping him back putting him back in the league all year. I'd say cut your losses, quit while you're ahead, take the blessing, the miracle that JD did not horribly, like, irreparably, well, I shouldn't say irreparably, but like permanently altered the ability of his left arm. Not that he uses his left arm anyway, but still take it as a sign, an act of God to not put him in the rest of the year, keep him out, let him let him heal up, get to 100%. He's already had too many injury scares this whole year, and just, tank the rest of the season, get him a better weapon or better defensive piece next year. Yeah, work on that defense. The offense is fine. You need to work on that defense. Meanwhile, the Dolphins coming off a win over the Bills. I canceled the mid-season video because it's going to take too much time that I sadly don't have to make anymore. But holy shit, am I thankful that I didn't end up making the mid-season video, because my ass had Bills at number 1. I was going to say Bills were the best team in the league, and then they got not only beat, they got bullied by the Dolphins. The Dolphins! Tua Tagovailoa, Tua turned the ball over. They put belt to ass on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I don't care if it was a road game. The Bills are quantifiably better than the Dolphins. Now, does this mean the Dolphins are going to make one last run and win out the rest of the year? I don't think so. I think that was just an any given Sunday type thing. Divisional matchup. These things happen. Rarely happen. It was like over 1,000 days, but the Dolphins finally beat the Bills. Something had to give eventually, I guess. With all that being said, I do think Dolphins are going to beat the Commanders here. I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge for them to work the Commanders, especially in a game where, even though there's no real home field advantage, I think Dolphins would have the home advantage here because it's in Spain, and they're, the Miami Dolphins. There's a large Hispanic population in Miami. I don't know how much of a difference that's gonna make though. I would say, yeah, Dolphins are gonna win. Dolphins are gonna cover. Normally, I would bet this game, and I'll tell you that if you're not on your fade Mike McDaniel mission, then I would say to take the Dolphins spread at -2.5. That's a perfect spread. For my own moral sake, I can't start betting on the Dolphins now. Going against the thing I've been doing the whole year, and fading Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. But if you want to take it, go ahead. I won't be officially taking it, but it's not a horrible pick at all. If I wasn't biased, I would definitely take. If I didn't have an agenda, I would take Dolphins -2.5. But they're probably gonna win, so you take it of your own discretion. Next game. Panthers versus Falcons. Panthers are coming off who did they lose to again? The Saints, of course. Yeah, they lost to the Saints. Embarrassing, probably the worst loss of the year so far. Even worse than when they got blown the fuck out by the Bills. But we expected them to get blown out by the Bills. Panthers should have been, even though the Panthers are ultimately a middle of the road team, the pure definition of mid. They should have been quantifiably better than the Saints. Your Bryce Young is not the best quarterback in the league, but he's probably should have been better than Tyler Shuck, and Rico Dowdle has been a monster recently. The receiving core ain't bad. Tet's not bad. But the Saints, they found a way. Excuse me. Meanwhile, the Falcons. they kept it close with the Colts. They all, to their credit, they almost beat the Indiana. God damn it, the Indiana Jones led Colts in overtime. Took them in overtime, but they fell short yet again. They're probably in the way that the Broncos are like the worst 8-2 team of all time. The Falcons are probably at least maybe not the I shouldn't be using his best, but the most talented 3-6 team of all time, because there's some undeniable talent on this roster. You got Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson. They bolstered that defense in the draft, and when that defense is like really like out there, they can do crazy things. They beat the Bills that one week. They contained Josh Allen and James Cook. But I think it's just the coaching staff that's failing the Falcons. Jury's still out on if Michael Penix Jr. is, the guy or not. I haven't been watching him too closely, honestly, so I couldn't tell you. I don't think he's horrible. I don't think he's shown too many flashes of greatness, but he's not also, shit the bed as bad as like a early Bryce Young or Cam. He's looking better than Cam Ward. I'll give him that. Now, the last time the Panthers and Falcons faced off, and I believe it was week 3, Panthers at home shut out the Falcons by 30, and what I think is probably the most, how did this happen game of the year, in the sense of, not, the greatest comeback or the greatest, upset, but, the greatest, this should not have happened, but it happened. Because not only did the Panthers beat the Falcons, a team that Falcons should have been better than the Panthers, but they shut them out by 30. They didn't let them score a point by 30. That's impressive. Mind you, this was pre-Rico Dowdle. So, now though, the Panthers aren't looking quite as dominant, and going on the road, I don't think they're going to pull off that same magic. They're not going to pull that rabbit out of the hat twice. Falcons are desperate. They need to win out to stand a chance to get a playoff spot, even though it's looking less and less likely with every passing week. I would say Falcons do win here. Panthers might cover. I don't feel confident enough to take it, though. I don't feel confident enough laying 3.5 points on the Panthers. Or, what how's the saying go? If you're laying points, do you lay it 4 or against a team? Laying more than 3.5 against Panthers, I don't know. I just don't feel confident taking it. I think Falcons, are going to be looking for revenge for week 3. And, if they can't beat the Panthers twice, then they know their season's over. The Falcons are playing with desperation. Panthers, not that they're not going to be trying, because they also need to win out to have a shot at the playoffs, but I think in this battle of the mid, the Falcons will pull it out, but no bet for me here. Next game, the Buccaneers versus the Bills. Both teams coming off losses, though not horrible losses. Buccaneers, they tried their best. If they had Mike Evans and Bucky Irving, I think Buccaneers might have been able to pull it off against the Patriots last week. Bills, meanwhile, had everybody and still got their ass beat by the Dolphins, so Bills definitely coming in with the worst loss here. Although they are pretty heavy favorites, 5.5 point favorites is pretty wide gap for how good both of these teams are. I do think that the Bills win here. They need a bounce back spot, and even though this is not going to be an easy game for them at all, they need to win this to get their heads back in the right headspace. Meanwhile, Buccaneers, they might be getting Bucky Irving back this week, but odds are might not. They're probably looking like next week they'll get him back. It's going to be close. It's going to be a shootout. It's probably going to be one of the best games this week. Not the best game of the week, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I do think Bills come out playing desperate. I'm looking at that Buccaneers spread, because for a game that's probably going to be this good, I'm looking at that 6, like the Green Goblin, and taking it to a 6.5 maybe. Ooh. Yeah, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Buccaneers plus 6.5. That's a bet. I think that the Buccaneers will probably not win the game, but you can give them 6.5 against the Bills with that offense. I think they can do it. I think they can do it. We'll see if Bills can go get their revenge against the Florida team, or if they'll drop back-to-back games to Florida teams. Next game. Chargers versus Jaguars. Jaguars are fraudulent. I really don't think that they got embarrassed by Davis Mills in the fourth quarter. What was it, like 26 unanswered points? It was like a choke job, the likes of which was almost just like a tick below the Giants blowing that lead against the Broncos. Although you could debate that's arguably worse because at least the Broncos had all their guys and the Texans was playing under a backup quarterback. Chargers are still clicking. That offense is still looking good. Justin Herbert is balling more often than not. He's got Keenan Allen. He's got Lad McConkey. He's got is that Oronde Gadsden guy? Is he injured? I think he might be injured. But Kalani Vidal, he's still, or Kimani Vidal. I forget how his first name, but Vidal, he's doing a good job at running back. That O-line could definitely do with a little first aid, but I think they'll be good enough to beat the Jaguars even on the road. And to show how confident I am in that, I mean the Chargers minus 2.5. That's an official bet. I have very strong faith in this Chargers team. They need to make a run. They need to chase after the Broncos. And if a certain game that I'll get to later, certain divisional game in the AFC, what was it? The AFC West, I want to say. I might be wrong. I always get those confused. If a certain matchup in the AFC West goes the way I think it's going to go, then Chargers need to win as many games as possible in order to get a shot at winning the division. So, Chargers minus 2.5. That is a bet. Next game. The Bears versus the Vikings. The Vikings did not pull off the same trick twice against the Ravens that they did to my Lions. They got beat pretty handedly. JJ McCarthy apparently has an alter ego, like he's Finn Balor or something from WWE, or like Mankind Mick Foley. He calls himself 9. I don't know why. He threw his 9th interception of the year in that game, so that was pretty funny, I guess. Meanwhile, the Bears, I don't want to say they're necessarily fraudulent. I think they're a little overrated. They did have a nice comeback win over the Giants, but it's the Giants. That defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. They've beaten some decent competition, but I feel like, when they play a team that's like on their level or better than them, they don't play. They don't win those games. They haven't been really playing teams on or above their level recently. Now the Vikings, I would say, are on their level overall. And the last time, week 1, when the Bears and Vikings played each other at home in Chicago, Vikings pulled off the upset. JJ McCarthy in the fourth quarter, y'all remember, turned into Prime Brady. I think that was our first taste of 9. I think that was the debut appearance of 9, where he came out and pulled off that crazy-ass comeback. If JJ can sweep the Bears here, then I'd say he is the guy for Minnesota, at least for now. Not like the franchise, sign him to a big contract when his rookie contract is up, but if you sweeping a division rival is going to be, good no matter how you look at it. And hey, he's won over the Lions. God, I pray this doesn't happen, but if they somehow end up sweeping the Lions, then he probably becomes the franchise quarterback. But yeah, I think Vikings can pull it off again. I think this is where Bears get exposed and the little winning streak comes to an end. I forget did their winning streak come to an end? I know they have the same record as the Lions, and I need the Bears to get the fuck away now. So give me the Vikings to win, Vikings to cover. You know what? Fuck it. Give me Vikings -2.5. That is the bet for the week. I think 9 can pull it off. He's got Justin Jefferson. He's got apparently a connection with Jalen Naylor for whatever reason. They got Jordan Addison. They got TJ Hawkinson. Aaron Jones has been balling ever since coming back from injury. I thought he was going to get replaced by Jordan Mason, but shows what I know. And that Vikings defense is better than that Bears defense. I think at home, the Vikings will be able to do some damage to the Bears. Next game. Packers versus Giants. Now, straight up off rip, Packers are probably going to win. Giants season is over. The Jackson Dart, God bless his soul, evaluated for his 4th concussion of the year, and I think he only started in week 4. So he's getting a concussion every other week. That ain't good. But there is a funny factor to this game that does make me want to watch it. And I was sad they'll be at work while this game is going on, unable to watch it live. But Jameis Winston is going to be starting for this game because Jackson Dart is still in concussion protocol, and Russell Wilson is too ass to be trusted. So it's time for some W's. I can't do the thing with my hands, the W thing with my hands. Well, it's time for some W's. Time to munch on some crab legs. And give me the Giants +7.5. That is a bet. I think the Packers are going to win the game because the Giants defense sucks. Packers need to start winning again in order to stand a chance in the division, even though I don't want them to win, and I would love nothing more than the Jameis Winston to pull off a big miracle and beat the Packers and push them further down the divisional standings. But if I'm being realistic, I think Packers are better on both sides of the ball overall. Maybe, offense has been very suspect coming off that. I'll dive more into it, that horrible Eagles and Packers game when we get to the Eagles game, but Packers have not looked dangerous since fucking the Cowboys game where they let the Cowboys tie them in the end, and I still qualify that as a Packers loss because they should have beaten the Cowboys, but Packers have not been dangerous for a while. Packers are very fraudulent. That Micah Parsons trade has not really benefited them in the way that I thought it would immediately. Packers will still probably win this game, but hey, if Giants win and cover, not only cover but win, you won't catch me complaining. I'll take the L on that if it means Lions get pushed further ahead. Next game. Bengals versus Steelers. Unk Bowl 2, Unk Electric Boogaloo. Last time they played in Cincinnati, and the Bengals were able to pull it off despite having, the worst defense in the league. And they're underdogs yet again. I'm pretty sure they were underdogs last time too. More understandable this time around because now they're playing in the Steelers' home turf. I hope that this game, I have Joe Flacco in fantasy, and I'm, making the bold decision to start Joe Flacco over Baker Mayfield. So we'll see if that comes back to bite me. I hope Joe Flacco goes out there and balls again. I would love nothing more than if Unk Bowl 2 was just as good as Unk Bowl 1. I think Steelers have been up and down. They've also been mid. They're still gunning for that 9-8 above 500 record to fulfill the blood prophecy. But Rodgers has been he's been inconsistent. If against this Bengals defense, I think he'll show up just like he did last time, even though they ended up losing that game. I think they'll probably do a better job of double covering Jamar Chase the entire game. They're not gonna let Flacco feed Chase the ball the whole game like they did last time and somehow never adapted to it. They're gonna do it this time. But I don't give a fuck. Bengals are going to win. Give me the Bengals money line. That is a bet. I think Joe Flacco is going to turn back the clock once more. It doesn't matter that they're going to double cover Chase the whole time. Steelers offense ain't all that. Even against that shit-ass Bengals defense, they were still able to do things like bitch DK Metcalf that whole game. I ain't forget. Bengals pull off the upset. they sweep the Steelers, and they probably still not going to make the playoffs, but they'll keep their hearts and dreams alive and take a. Oh wait, no, Bengals don't play. Thanksgiving's not next week; it's the week after. That's gonna be a fun Thanksgiving game, even though Ravens are probably gonna blow Bengals out the building. But yeah, Bengals money line. That is a bet. I can't. Hopefully, Unk Bowl 2 does not disappoint and become the shit game we thought the first Unk Bowl was gonna be. Next game, Texans versus Titans. Davis Mills, I think, is still playing in this one, while CJ Stroud is still out with a concussion. And Titans are, the Titans. They're the worst team in the league. They have one win to their name, and it against the Cardinals, and it shouldn't even been a win. Should have been a loss. Cardinals basically gift-wrapped that win to the gift-wrapped. Not gift-wrapped it. What the fuck am I saying? Gift-wrapped that win to the Titans. I think Texans win this pretty handedly. Davis Mills doesn't even need to play top quality ball. It's the Titans. They don't give a fuck. I don't think there's going to be any kind of QB controversy in Houston like there is in Arizona and San Francisco. But as long as Mills plays half as well as he did in that Jaguars game and that Jaguars comeback specifically, then I think they'll beat the Titans handedly. Because it's a backup and the Titans, to their credit, have been looking a little better and it's at home, I don't feel confident enough to lay 5.5 on the Texans, or 5.5 against the Titans. So there's not going to be a bet for me here. Texans, if you want to throw a Texans money line on like a parlay with I don't know, like Chargers money line or something, then that'd be pretty good. Parlay this if you want, but no straight official bet for me here. Next game, 49ers versus Cardinals. This could have been the battle of the QB controversy, funnily enough, but I think Brock Purdy is coming back this week, so we'll see if he can squash the controversy here and now, be like, okay, Mac Jones had a cute little run, but it's time to remind y'all why they paid me. Although it'd be very, very funny, and I'm kind of hoping this is the case, because I like the agenda. I like the Mac Jones better than Brock Purdy agenda going on. I hope he shits the bed. I don't think he will, though. Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter for Arizona moving forward. Kyler Murray is going prestige in Call of Duty. He's not playing. I think his time as a Cardinal is over. I think we are at the end of the Kyler era, hilariously enough. So I do think the 49ers win here. You know what? 2.5 is fine. Give me the 49ers minus 2.5. That is but Brock Purdy though. They do have CMC, and I think CMC alone could beat up on the team. They'll probably feed CMC anyway to ease Brock Purdy back into the game. So, you know what? Yeah, still. Give me 49ers minus 2.5, and if they lose this one, then I just won't bet Brock Purdy anymore. Alright, next game. Okay, here we go. Game of the week. Potential game of the year candidate, possible playoff preview, maybe even an NFC championship preview. I hope not, because I need the Lions to go that far. But if we're talking, big picture, Seahawks versus Rams, this is going to be a good game. Two of the best offenses in the league. Sam Darnold and Matthew Stafford are both having MVP campaigns. I think Stafford is better than Darnold. And Darnold, still, I'm not convinced that he doesn't not shit his pants, or start seeing ghosts when the lights get bright. And this is definitely one of those bright light games, divisional matchup. They're both pretty close in the divisional standings already, and this will probably impact who wins the division, and could even impact who might end up winning the 1 seed in the NFC. So for that reason, I've got the Rams to win. And I got the Rams to cover. -3. Rams -3. I love it, love it, love it. Actually, never mind. I don't like pushes. -2.5. We'll go a little lower on it. But yeah, Rams -3. 2.5. Rams -2.5. That is the official bet. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a high scoring. If I weren't a pussy, I would actually change the bet to over 48.5 as but I don't usually bet on totals, so I like it. I like it a lot. I think JSN, even though he might be the best receiver in the league, I like the receiving core of the Rams overall better than the Seahawks, because I'm not really too impressed by anyone outside of JSN on that team. Meanwhile, they've got Puka, who is probably just like a hair below JSN overall. I mean, Puka's probably the better receiver overall. JSN just doing really well this year. And they've got Devontae Adams. They've got Kyron Williams, who is a better back than whatever the running back situation is in fucking Seattle right now between Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Stafford's the better quarterback. I think Rams got the better defense. I think Rams pulled this one off, -2.5. I love it, love it, love it. This is going to be such a good game. What's not going to be a good game, though, is Ravens versus Browns. Ravens are... Excuse me. I don't think they're as big of favorites as they were last time these guys played each other earlier in the year. I think Ravens are going to definitely win, no question about it. There's an easy Ravens win to win out, make a run for the division. Browns, the only thing about this game is that since it's at home and that Browns defense has it out for Derrick Henry, apparently. If you'll remember, that one defender was like, Derrick Henry is my bitch, and I'm not going to let him run all over us. And even though the Browns ended up losing that game, he kept true to his word. He contained Derrick Henry pretty damn well. The whole Browns defense did. So, we'll see about that. I don't feel confident enough on either side of the spread here to bet on it. Browns, historically, kind of go, like, weirdly back and forth with the Ravens for some reason. So no bet from me here, but Ravens definitely going to win. They need to win out to make a run for the division, catch the Steelers lacking. And that's pretty much it. Next game. Chiefs versus Broncos. All right. I have an idea. I mean, not an idea. I have a prediction. Broncos winning streak comes to an end here. There is no doubt in my mind. I don't give a fuck that's being played in Mile High Stadium. Chiefs need to win out. The Chiefs understand what's at stake here. If Broncos beat them here, their chances, I think they just straight up can't win the division anymore. I think they, not mind you, Chiefs will also need to like win out pretty hard the rest of the year. But if they can't beat the Broncos in this game, even if they beat them the next time that they play each other later in the year, I think it's straight up over for them. The division is like officially out of reach. They can only play for a wild card spot, if that. And if the Chargers keep winning the way they have been, they might not even make the playoffs. Can you imagine fucking Chiefs not making the playoffs in this day and age? Impossible, improbable, illogical. Chiefs understand the assignment. Chiefs understand the gravity of the situation. They're not going to let them get bitched by a shit-ass Broncos offense, and they'll overcome the Broncos defense at home. Give me the Chiefs -3.5. That's how confident I am. I don't usually like taking numbers away from like 3 like this, but I'm so confident that Chiefs win this time. And the Broncos finally get exposed for the frauds they are. Chiefs -3.5. That is a bet. Cannot wait for the Broncos to finally get exposed, even though I don't really want the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl again, but it be what it be. I don't want the Broncos fans to be getting too delusional recently. They need the reality check desperately. Next game. My Detroit Lions versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we could talk about the games that both these teams had, because I kind of glossed over them earlier in the video. Lions put belt to ass on the Commanders just like I thought they would. It's sad that we couldn't get a proper revenge against Jaden Daniels, but belt to ass is belt to ass. I still think we would have beaten them. Jaden Daniels doesn't play defense, so we would have dropped 40 on him regardless, but JD could have kept it close. Maybe he could have made it like a loss by 7 instead of 22. But Lions are finally on the right track again. Dan Campbell is calling the plays now. He said, "Okay, Johnny Boy, Morton, Johnny M, Morton baby, you're done. You're staying in the back. I'm putting on the specs. I'm putting on the spectacles, the Professor Campbell readers, and I'm calling the offensive plays." And that offense was clicking, clicking, clicking. I think Gibby had a hat trick, I want to say. I could be wrong. That Lions offense looked amazing. It looked like the offense that we had in the Ben Johnson era. Meanwhile, the Eagles put on one of the worst football games I've ever seen in my life against the Packers. I believe the statistic was the first Monday Night Football game to have a scoreless first half since 2009. 15 plus years. Over a decade and a half. And they put on the worst game in that time span. Even though the Eagles won in the end and the Packers are still, fraudulent. Eagles might be fraudulent. What's his name? Kevin Patullo, something Patullo, is one of the worst offensive coordinators in the league. He needs to be fired. How the fuck do you have, Jalen Hurts I think he's overrated. I think he's kind of a bum. Can't really. He can occasionally throw the ball down the field, but that's 1 in every 5 passes. He can't make the beautiful throws like Jared Goff or Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or even guys like Drake May, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold. He's not on their level. He'll do it every now and then, but more often than not he'll shit his pants, and he's a tush push merchant. But how do you have an offense with Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, who's literally went on a stream on one of his friends on Twitch and was like, "If you have me in fantasy, trade me, drop me, don't have me on your fantasy team." That's how bad the AJ Brown situation is. He's always been a bit of a drama queen. He might dead ass request a trade in the offseason if the Eagles don't win another Super Bowl. Or at least don't make a pretty far playoff run. If they don't win the NFC championship. That Eagles offense is good, in theory, and that defense is also good. It's going to be a tough game for the Lions, especially on the road, going back-to-back from Washington to Philly. But, I'm never betting against my Lions. Give me the Lions, money line. That is an official bet. Sam Laporta is out for the game. Kirby Joseph is out for the game. I think Terrion Arnold is also out. We might lose guys like Penei Sewell. That would be pretty bad. We might not have a full O-line or defense, but that offense, man. I don't think, as long as that shit-ass, bum-ass Patullo is coordinating the offense and calling the plays for Philly, I don't think they can hang with the Lions. The defense might make some stops against our offense, but I don't think they'll be able to hang. I think it'll be a shootout, or maybe it'll be a high-scoring affair. But in the end, the Lions pull away, and we make more key stops than the Eagles do. I think we got this. If we can beat the Super Bowl champions, the defending Super Bowl champions, it'll be such a morale boost for Detroit. It'll be a statement made to not only themselves, but to the entire league, being like, do not fucking count us out. We are still one of the most dangerous teams in the entire league. One fucking pride, baby. Show them that Detroit grit next game. Final game, Monday Night Football, Cowboys-Raiders, kind of a stinker. Do not let the fucking Raiders back on primetime after that Thursday night debacle last week. One of the worst games of the year. I didn't fucking talk about that. Broncos and Raiders. We had a bookend shit games. Probably one of the worst book endings of in NFL history. Broncos Raiders on Thursday night, Packers Eagles on Monday night. 2 10-7 games where no one was scoring. They were punting back and forth. It was fucking horrible. I wanted to blow my brains out watching it. Cowboys Raiders. Cowboys are going to win. Raiders suck. Geno sucks, which is sad, but he's not good. It's time for him to write back. Cowboys defense, Raiders will score on this Cowboys defense, but that Cowboys offense should pound the rock hard enough to overcome the Raiders defense, which honestly is pretty decent, but it's not like all that. Cowboys on the road are also kind of weak, but I don't feel strong enough to bet it. So no bet for me here, but Cowboys should beat the Raiders. That's all I got for Week 11 of the NFL season. Let me know what your picks, your bets, your predictions are down in the comments. Who you got? It's going to be a pretty good week of football. Lots of fun games. Hopefully, we're only down 1.16 units now after having a great Week 10. Hopefully, we'll get back in the green this time next week. I'm Neon Manta, and you'll see me next time.